I remember when I first saw a drum machine. It was back in 1983. There was this kid that moved from Detroit to Texas, and he bought it to school. It was called a Dr. Rhythm. It was a little square, simple little thing. It had like 8 pads, kicks, snares, some toms, the hats, and whatnot, and the claps. And we were like, wow. Now, we heard a drum machine before in the early hip hop music from Run DMC and whatnot, but we never saw a drum machine up close. Now, that was at the tail end of the break dance era, and me and my friends, we weren't very good break dancers, so we said, well, we're going to start a rap group. And we were trying to figure out how were we going to become a rap group when we needed a DJ who needed turntables and a drum machine. And my friend Daniel, he was the main rapper. I wasn't really never really good at rapping, but he was really good. He was really, really good. We used to go up to this music store off of South Lamar, and we used to play with the little drum machines they had there. They had the Yamaha drum machine, some Korg drum machines. This was around 83, 84. And the turntables. Now, my friend couldn't scratch up there because they didn't allow you to do that. They had the Technique 1200s and Pioneer. Those were the two turntables that was a must-have for DJs. Now, we couldn't afford any of that, but my friend Daniel, he knew some guy who wanted to sponsor us, and he did. He got us a Korg drum machine. It was a simple drum machine, and some turntables, and a microphone, and we would practice. We were, honestly, we were awful, man. We called ourselves the dedication crew, but we managed to get some shows. We got some shows at a club called Liberty Lunch in Austin, Texas when it was around. We used to perform with a group called the Def MCs and a funk band called Bad Mothers Goose and the Brothers Grimm. And we were in our teens, but they still let us perform, and we were making like $300 a show, and we thought that was big money. That was back in 1984. And ever since then, I was just hooked on doing music. And we all thought we were going to be big stars. Eventually, Damon got really, really good at DJing. I got really good at making beats. And Daniel, of course, he was like serious MC, but none of us was really popular, right? One of my friends, Chuck Roberts, called Papa Chuck at the time, he was rapping, and he had some sponsors. It was a cat named Wink D who used to make his beats. And I forgot who was his DJ, but he was really good. He's still really good. He's still out doing his thing. And he put out a few singles and whatnot. I think he even got signed at one time. But I say this to say that I think all of us have those moments when we, first got hooked by the music bug, right? And we started out, we were very wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, optimistic about making music, and just for the fun of it, for the love of it. Money really never entered into our minds. We just wanted to be popular. People say, man, there they go, that's that group. Then it morphed into something else as we got older. Now, of course, I never did music as a profession. Again, Papa Chuck, he went on to make several albums, and he's still making music today that's pretty popular. He's pretty popular with people here in Texas. And lately I was dabbling with Suno. I have several videos about Suno, and I liked it when I first started using it. And when Warner Music Group signed that deal with them, I was like kind of skeptical, because I would take my written songs and even some of my melodies and put it up into, Suno back there. And it would give me some great results. But now, after reading their agreement that who owns what is really obscure, it's kind of frustrating. I have this love and hate. I still see a use for Suno. like making backing vocals. Like if I sing something or play something and I need Suno to do it better, but I know that there's that little, disclaimer in their details of who owns what, right? But anyhow, I started messing with GarageBand here, little simple things. I decided to just take it back to how I started. I don't have anything AI in this. It's really simple, not that great. Something I programmed. I got to get my chops back up because it is true. I got to admit, when I would hear people say AI will make you lazy, and if you're not careful, if you don't keep up, it will. It'll make you lazy, and I got a road ahead of me, but I just want to play some of what I've been messing with, and if you could rock with it, cool. If not, I get it. This video is going to be unedited, so it's raw, right? And so it's going to have a lot of mess ups. But that's just a simple sound. Then I have those hats. Then I have this little loop I found. Not that. Oh, sorry, wrong thing. Here we go. It's a good start. Let me see, how's that? Let me point. There it is. Oh, that's right. My Lord. Oh, gosh. Because it's in, I think it's what? G major? G flat major? So I think that's pretty cool. I think I'm gonna do something with it. If any of you guys have any ideas about it, let me know. Let me know in the comments. See what I can do with this. But anyhow, I just want to share that because share my story about how I got into this music thing. And I'm not an expert. I'm not an accomplished pianist. Like I said, I didn't do it as a profession. So, I tinkered and used it as an elaborate hobby, something to pass the time, even though me and my friends thought we were going to be famous when we were kids. But all of this going back and forth over, this AI stuff and this obscurity, I just decided I just wanted to get back to basics, what I used to do. When we didn't care if it was whack, we didn't care if it wasn't like what you heard on the radio. We were just excited to make something and create something, record something, and to hear ourselves on a tape, and we thought it was cool. And maybe you have moments like that, and I would really like to know after you guys tell me how and what I should do with this rhythm here. But I really like to hear your story, and I think, once we center ourselves back to the why, I think we'll stop fighting over what's authentic, not authentic, and just get back to making good music. I think that's what we really need to do because the music industry is really sad right now. Uh, Music don't sound the same. It's like everything sounds cookie cutter, like they're following some sort of a format that how stuff should sound to try to squeeze every ounce of profit out of whatever genre. Like hip hop, that I think that's what killed hip hop in the mainstream. Hip hop isn't dead; it's just went back underground like it first started, and that's what killed heavy metal. The big hair bands in the '80s, they started wanting everyone to sound the same because I guess what these companies don't care about originality. They only care about what sell. That's why it's really up to the fans of music lovers, not to get hooked on trends. Because when I grew up, we listened to a wide variety of music. And whether it was rock, whether it was disco, whether it was funk, I'm giving my age, uh, pop, new wave, we just listened to good music. And that's why I believe the 80s, this late 70s, because, I was too young in the early 70s, but the late 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and I can argue that the early parts of the 2000s, music was so good is because there was such a difference. I think it started changing, like 80s with the rock bands kind of died out because they did that formula thing and it got boring. But for the most part, music stayed different, even amongst the genres, to where you knew there were different styles, different flavors, and it kept everything fresh. And hopefully we get back to that. I don't know. I just want to share that. And I know this video may not go viral, but I think people just need to get in touch with the why again. That's all I got. Don Walk, I'm out. Peace.